this feeling, baby, we're invincible.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Notts County. As always, if you are enjoying the series, drop a like on the video. It really helps out the channel. I know it's been a tough start to the season. Hopefully things will be looking up. But today's episode is going to be slightly disjointed. For many reasons, which you're about to find out. We'll talk about Anthony Jones in a minute, but firstly we need to talk about some other stuff, because I've been mucking around with the tactics this time, because I felt like, you know what, actually, you can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, because it was not working quite clearly, and we needed to change stuff. So I've done one of my analysis things, not to the same sort of depth as I have before, but I might well do that in the next episode, to be honest, when we're playing slightly more appropriate teams, shall we say, because we really have had probably the toughest start you could possibly imagine. We'll have a look at that in a second. I had a comment and it got me thinking, and it was to do with our Brexit scenario. So firstly, I'm going to put a timestamp on the screen, because might take me a couple of minutes to talk about, but if you're not interested in this, just skip to the timestamp that should be on the screen right about now, and that will take you straight into me talking about Anthony Jones, because there's going to be quite a lot of jump cuts in this bit, so I can try and concisely bring my thoughts, because you know how I like to ramble. But I also like to try and be as transparent as possible, just like I was during the Polonia save when we had that weird database glitch, which admittedly turned out to be a game error and not actually to do with the database, but just one of those things. So here's the situation. I'd been thinking, like, why have we not been getting sort of, you know, Brexit restrictions, essentially, because we were supposed to be getting some, and when I signed member to it, people were like, oh, it doesn't matter because he's from Bosnia, so it doesn't count. And there was a few more times when I was like, shouldn't we be getting some kind of problems here? And people were like, no, it's fine, there's just this reason and that reason. So I was like, all right, kind. And I kind of just forgot about it. But then I'm thinking to myself, that summer we had the work permit symbol on players, and I was like, okay, fair enough, that means we're going to have issues trying to sign them. And then we just never really got any issues with players and signing them, and we should have done, I feel like. So I did some digging, and I went back and I had a look at the original rules we were supposed to get. Thankfully, I keep copies of things like this, so it's quite useful. These are the rules, you should be seeing them on the screen right now. These were the supposed work permit rules we were going to get when we left the EU in the game. And these that you should be doing on the screen now are the current rules of the Premier League that we had at the time. I just went and had a look at a random one. And now, these are the rules we're currently getting, which is basically none, and I don't understand why, or rather I didn't at the time, and I think I kind of know what's happened. I like to talk about this stuff because if any of you guys run into similar problems, you might know how to fix them. It's unlikely this is not fixable for a start, and I think it's very unlikely you'll encounter the issue that I've had, because this is absolutely insane, and I'll explain why in a sec. So I was stressing for like 3 hours yesterday, scouring through things, looking on the internet, trying to see if anyone's had this issue before, because I couldn't figure out what had changed. So I went back to an older version of the save right before Brexit. I found the one where we actually got the notification through, because it actually came through in the middle of an episode, which was brilliant, because we talked about it in a video. And I was like, right, that's all fine, so nothing's happened there. I haven't had any crash dumps, I don't think. I think I might have had one, but that might have been before, so it shouldn't have had any effect on this at all. So then I started looking through like game config files, trying to figure out what on earth could have changed. I thought maybe the name fix has mucked it up, but that shouldn't have any effect on it at all, because the name fix doesn't touch things like work permit dates. So then, when I was looking through those files, I noticed there was a file in one of the folders called like UK work permit dates, but they were all there, and I was like, well, the name fix doesn't touch them. I've never touched them, because why would you touch stuff like that? So again, it shouldn't have been a problem. And then I noticed that the date modified on those files were all the same, like when they would have been updated or whatever, was the 8th of December. And I noticed there was an update released on the 8th of December. So I was wondering to myself, if that could have caused a problem, but it shouldn't really have caused a problem, because no one else has had the problem. And then I noticed that I recorded the final episode before we switched over into the Brexit year, was recorded on the Friday. There was an update on the weekend, and I came back on the Monday to record the next one. And I realized that the reason that those install dates were because that was me installing them on this computer. So here is essentially what I think has caused whatever bug this is. And I don't know still entirely how this has happened, but this is essentially the case. I record the final episode of that year, like calendar year, on the Friday. I then save stuff and I back up the save files because I know that I'm moving it to a new computer. Over the weekend, I then build this computer, and then on Sunday, install FM without an issue, because I'm like, well, you know, we've got to do that, install it Monday, and off I go. Unbeknownst to me, there's an update released, I think on the Saturday, but because I was installing it fresh, I didn't realise it was an update. So it appears that what I've done is taken a save file from one version of the game that hasn't had an update on it and put it straight onto a PC that's running a fresh version of the game. And again, I don't understand how that would have any difference, but it seems that because, not only that because on the Friday we were directly before the Brexit date, and when I came back we played through the Brexit date on the new version of the game on the new PC, something seems to have got its wires crossed somewhere. And I think it has to do with certain files that might be referenced by the game that weren't exactly matched up on both of them, because it wasn't a direct update, it was a fresh installation on a different PC. That's the only thing I can think of that could have caused that. And it would also explain why the Premier League sides have been absolutely ferocious in going after the same players as me, because they actually can. And it seems that the AI has been let off the leash or something, because that would explain why I got into these bidding wars, which has actually been really fun. But it's just, yeah, that's essentially the situation. It sucks. But I'm one of those people, when something like this happens, I need to explain it. I can't just go, well, that's just the thing now. I'm like, but why is that a thing? And I still don't know for sure, but it has to be something to do with those particular circumstances that's caused some kind of issue. I don't think we'll ever really know what, but that seems to be the case, essentially. Right, so that's the situation with that, basically. We must now move on to Anthony Jones, who's been out on loan at Fylde this year. And you can see he's contributed 7 goals for them and 3 assists in the National League. And that's a pretty solid return for him, really. Obviously, last year he was playing at a higher level with Crew. But I just feel like giving him a bit more game time at a lower level could definitely do him some good. And the fact is, he's, you know, a 1 in 2 record is pretty solid for the lad. And hopefully he'll help out Fylde. I've also upgraded to the public beta because people kept telling me to. And also, I wanted to, before I mucked around with tactics, I wanted to go to the public beta because I didn't want the game to then update and me to lose all my work, essentially, when it comes to the tactics in case stuff changes. So I wanted to work on the freshest version of the game. That's what I've done. I've been mucking around with tactics a lot in this period. Still not confident on it. So, after the disappointing defeat to Villa, I was like, right, we need to look at stuff. So I basically went through and looked at all the goals we conceded this year and all the chances we conceded this year. And the general gist of things that I found was we're getting beaten over the top too much because of our high line. Simply because Sam Williams and Yoon Dong Yong are not fast enough. And I'm sure someone pointed this out in the last video. I haven't had a chance to even check comments on the last video yet. That they're just too slow to be playing that kind of system. So the first thing I basically did was, right, we want to be dropping that line to not even standard, but deeper, so we can sit a little bit more. My assistant kept saying, maybe we should try a narrower defensive line. So I also tried that out for this game, and it does seem to have some benefits, because I got to say, Liverpool was solid on the night, but I think we were pretty good too, and maybe 4-2 was a bit harsh on us. The fact that we created 10 shots on target and 17 shots in total against Liverpool was very, very interesting. But I have made a lot of changes to the squad that's kind of evolved over these games. When I saw some things that I liked against Liverpool, I mean, for a start, Regan Booty scored his first goal in the Premier League, and Costel Troffin grabbed himself another goal for us. So 2 goals on the night was really, really solid. Booty's goal was a cracker too. The overwhelming majority of our chances came with a long ball over the top of our slow defenders, breaking that back line. And that's something that I feel like we can stop relatively easily just by dropping a little bit deeper. But that does mean you have to change other aspects of the squad around that and try to play to our strengths from a strike force potential. Because I found that most of the balls that were being played in behind for Troffin actually came from Robbie Burton and not Regan Booty. But it wasn't to be on the night. And there was a penalty in there. Alexander-Arnold, he dribbled past our defender way too easily, but that's just going to happen sometimes. And Mane's goal was a bit fortunate as well. It was just one of those ones where they just hit it and it just goes straight in. But hey, it's Liverpool, because they looked a lot more solid against Sunderland. We do seem to give up a lot more shots with this system because we're sitting deeper, which encourages long shots, but not a great deal of chances. Mijic scored a great one, a knockdown by Ricky Griffiths, and Mamakon Oz added another one on the night for us too, which is really nice. We're getting a few knockdowns now, which is kind of interesting. And then we came at home to second in the league at the time, Everton, and we got a 0-0 draw. Now, I honestly feel like we probably should have won this one too. It wasn't anywhere near as good as against Palace, but it was definitely a performance where we were the better side on the night, and it's a real sign for me. And then against Chelsea, I mean, runaway leaders of the Premier League last year, won the league by about 20 points and so, and we only lost 1-0 because of a Mason Mount penalty. So again, defensively, very, very solid. And in 2 matches against Everton and Chelsea, we only conceded 1 goal, and it was from the penalty spot, despite conceding a decent number of sort of pseudo chances where they're in a good position, but we've got about 3 players in the way. So that's a good sign for us. But nevertheless, we are still bottom of the league and 3 points from safety. But, and I really cannot stress this enough, in our first 8 matches of the season, the only team that we've played that's outside of the top 9 is Crystal Palace. Literally the only team. So it's Carlo Ancelotti's Spurs, which is fine. It's 5th in the division at the moment. I mean, I think the Everton team that we beat, yeah, they've not even lost the Everton team that we drew against, they've not lost a game yet. So, changes afoot. Here's what we've done. So, I've been messing around with this, and obviously, I don't know if I want to do that at all, actually. I tried that against Chelsea, and I'm not entirely sure about it. This is all the same. I've switched to shoot on sight, because at the end of the day, we're not really able to work the ball into the box against some of these teams, so there's really no point in us trying. We're on run at defence still, because I noticed that it seems to be, on this public beta, the dribbling seems to be a bit more OP again. So, I'm fine to go with that, because we've got some good dribblers. I've also got us on regroup here, because I noticed that when we were losing the ball, we were getting caught out a little bit too much, and a lot of our goals conceded as well came from us losing possession. So if we rush back and try to defend, then it does seem to make us a little bit more solid. And finally, we're defending more narrow, but I might make that to more default, and you can see we're on the lower line of engagement now. As for everything else, I've also been experimenting with Hermansen as a ball-winning midfielder, but I genuinely don't believe that that's really what I want to do with him, because it just makes us a little bit too lightweight in the defensive area. And Williams is a complete wing-back, and he does seem to look quite solid there. He provided the assist for Troffin's goal against Liverpool by just getting in there, and also we've made a left-hand side swap with Luetti being a supporting player instead of trying to overlap here, just to give us a little bit more stability, and we're aiming crosses to the far post for Ricky Griffiths. The one other change that my assistant keeps bugging me about is to try low crosses, because we don't have tall enough players for this, so I might try out low crosses today, particularly if we can get Ricky Griffiths in with some of those. So, on the bench, Lennon, Akinola, Mijic, Curtis Jones, Lervik, Ferguson, and Campbell. Anyone else I want, really? I'm actually going to put Sikanic on the bench, because I like the idea of bringing him on instead of Burton, because I've also got Burton taking more risks, but I may turn that off as well, actually, and more direct passes, because I found that he was the one playing in Troffin way more than anyone else, and I want to make sure that he gets the sort of free reign to do that when he needs to, you know? This is what it's been like. I've just been before every game going, did that really work? And against Chelsea, some of this stuff worked, but I felt like from an attacking perspective, it just didn't. Take this game with a pinch of salt, but we're going to give it our best shot anyway. Right then. Bellingham, good tackle on him by Luetti. This is where we need to be getting ourselves through. I'm tempted to start moving over to a cautious approach in games, but I don't know how well the board will enjoy that, to be honest. And we're at home, so we might as well at least give it a crack. Luetti. Oh, I can find Booty again. Booty's got a chance here. Oh my god, Regan Booty makes it Notts County 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Wow. I did not expect that start, but to be fair, Booty got in a really good position. And bear in mind, Regan Booty only scored 1 goal in the entirety of last season for us in the Championship. This year, this is really good movement from him, to be fair. Luetti just holds on to it perfectly. He's really off balance there, but it's a great, terrible goalkeeping. Great finish from the captain, and he's got his second of the season. Very, very early days. I'm going to switch to cautious now. I might just turn off shoot on side. Not do anything else, but just turn it off. Griffiths again, that's better. Robbie Burton's making a run. Booty, good touch. Guajardo's over. Oh, Troffin's in. Oh, what a great ball through from Regan Booty. We've been good. Booty, this is where we need Troffin to be making his run. Finds Guajardo instead. One touch. It's 2-0! Francisco Guajardo scores his first goal for Notts County, and it's against Tottenham. Notts County 2, Tottenham 0. I did not expect this. I was targeting the Stoke game. I figured this was a free hit. Maybe we finally hit upon a tactical approach that works. Guajardo, down the outside, whips it across. Keeper can't quite get there, and we're 2-0 up now. This is insane. Troffin with the assist. Beautiful. Wow. Parrott. Oh, no. Guerrero. Great save by Vitamin P. So, half-time, Notts County 2, Tottenham 0. Dead even in terms of shots, but we have had the better chances, amazingly. Apologies if this is a really long episode, but I hope you can understand why. We had to talk about a lot of stuff, basically, just so we can move on with the save. But from really bad to really good, but this is still only half-time, remember? I mean, this could all still go tits up for us, because we have kind of faded somewhat in this second period. But fading is fine, provided we hang on. Parrott, forcing him into the narrow area again. Cuisance, oh, look at the space out wide, though. Bernat. Oh, and Kane has skewed that one wide. This would be such a massive win for us. Dela Cruz, headed away by Hughes. This is the problem. You can defend all you like, but they're still going to get goals. It just seems impossible to stop them. Like, it's a good enough clearance, but it's through a crowd of bodies and it's now 2-1. I'm just like, what can you do? You're going to just let him run it? Oh, no. Oh, good block. Throwing himself in front of that. Guajardo, really nice work. Booty. Troffin's in. Blocked. Doesn't matter. He's still got it. He's still got it. Costel Troffin. Jones. And, oh, why would you hold that? Just let it go out. Yes! Notts County 2, Spurs 1. I did not see that coming. You can see what I mean about giving up a lot of shots to this approach. But the chance creation is much, much better from us and lower from them. You're going to concede more annoying long-range strikes because they will just take pot shots towards the end of the matches. But at the end of the day, I think we were really good value in places for that result. Didn't really turn up so much in the second half, but what a result that is. That's huge. And now we go into Stoke with a win under our belt. Oh my goodness me. Great result. Bloody hell. I am excited. Now, you notice we're back in the relegation zone. It's because Leeds went and beat Burnley 2-1. But as you can see, once again, the fact that Leeds and Burnley were playing each other means that there's a lot of points going between those bottom sides, and we've not had a chance to play any of them yet. Because up until now, I've had to judge it on a per-game basis. Now, we've got some bad partnerships, but at the end of the day, we don't really have much choice in the matter at these things at the moment. So, yeah, and hopefully we can, maybe because of languages, all sorts of stuff, we can work on that, and hopefully we'll be fine once the players are fully familiar with the tactical approach. That's the idea anyway. Guajardo should be able to play, though. So I'm going to go with the exact same lineup because I'm happy with the way we played. On the bench, Akinola, Sikanic, Jones, Lervik, Ferguson, and, of course, Tyrese Campbell, although no, he's just not quite ready yet, I don't think. I actually wouldn't mind Guberinic on there as well, just to give myself, because sometimes I want different options. As much as there's 3 midfielders there, they do offer different things. I'm not really sure what to expect. They play a very unorthodox system. A system I literally don't think we've come up against at any point in this save in any division. Oh, a mistake. Troffin, he's so good in these areas. It's a bit tight of an angle, though. And he's got the shot away anyway, but hey, here we go. We haven't scored from a set piece this season yet. Burton's ball, and Dong! And it's put in on the rebound by Sam Hughes, and Notts County have the lead at Stoke. What a start to the match. We finally scored from a set piece. The board will love that. It was initially the header from Dong, I think, that's well saved by the goalkeeper, but there's Sam Hughes, his first goal in the Premier League, and it's against Stoke, and I think we've deserved that from the start. Finds Williams. Could take his man on. He does! Good save by Gunn. Wow, comfortable. Burton again. Whips in and Dong! And it's on the rebound and it's Dong. We're 2-0 up. We've scored 2 from set pieces today. Holy crap. Dong now grabs his first goal for the club, and we've actually been excellent in this game so far, admittedly with the set pieces specifically, but in general. Good ball in. Dong has the initial strike, comes back to him, and it's in the back of the net. Very unfortunate for Stoke there, and we're 2-0 up at the Britannia, my lord. Sort yourselves out, lads. We need Luetti to do well here. Hee-chan! Great save by Vitamin P. That's really the first time he's been called into action, and we needed that. They're giving us a lot of space in the wide areas, and I think that's our main route through them at the moment. Nico Williams, win us a corner perhaps. He sort of hasn't, doesn't need to. Griffiths, Burton, blocked. Griffiths is in again, and a good save by the goalkeeper there, denying us another chance there. Woo! Guajardo does really well. Can he find a ball in? He does. Griffiths, saved by Gunn. Come on, a third before half-time, Guajardo. And it's in the back of the net, and we've scored again. We've scored 3 set-piece goals in one game, having not scored one all season. Francisco Guajardo with the assist, and we're 3-0 up at Stoke. And Yoon Dong-yong has basically just tried to redeem himself after that performance against Leicester. Because remember, he had the header for the first goal as well. What is the goalkeeper doing there? It's 3-0. This is about as good as... And we've actually looked really good in general today. But Dong has been particularly excellent. He's not the best in terms of aerial. Guajardo's ball in. Surely not another one. And it's Griffiths! And it's Griffiths! And it's Dong! And it's... Oh my god! Booty. Round the side for Guajardo! Good stop by Angus Gunn. Look at the chance creation. 8 chances on the night. This is like old school us. Still finds a great ball for Regan. Booty! And tipped over by Angus Gunn. We're just packing that box. Oh, we just can't seem to quite give our goalkeeper the benefit of a bloody clean sheet, can we? Stoke have really thrown everything at us towards the end there, and they just pushed enough players into the box to the point where even us crowding the middle wasn't quite enough. We have basically our entire team in the penalty area, but they still managed to pick out the 3 guys. A great strike. Can't take that away from him. I think there's definitely something to this approach that we're using currently. We're still creating chances. We look good. We look attacking. Troffin. Guberinic. And there we go. Stoke 1, Notts County 3. Huge result there. Barring that late goal. Sure, we still gave up some shots to them, but we looked absolutely brilliant going forward in places. Dong Yong was absolutely godlike today. He ran the show from the centre-back spot. Brilliant. Ricky Griffiths, not so good though. So there we have it. 10 games played and we've got 8 points, but we are out of the relegation zone as things stand. We've got one of the better goal differences of those teams around them as well. Oh, Jesus. That Spurs game gave me such a boost in confidence about the team, and then to actually go and take that into the Stoke match and grab another victory, away from home no less. I feel like, just to simmer things down a little bit so we can do comments and Region Sunday, we'll do a Bournemouth live com in the next episode. We're going to do Wolves, Burnley, Arsenal and Newcastle off camera. So the Burnley-Newcastle games are the real key ones we need to target. The other games, Wolves at home maybe try to aim for a point, but that will be still pretty tough. Arsenal away is going to be then again, we did beat them last season, and we'll come back for Bournemouth at home. That could be massive for us as we really do start to try to just keep ourselves comfortably clear. Apologies for the length of this episode. I hope you can understand why, and I hope you've enjoyed it anyway, given the 2 results that we've just bloody got. Holy crap. Now I can actually go finally do the stuff I needed to do. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, and I really hope you have, drop a like on the video. That would be tremendous. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe. That'd be gorgeous as well. And as always, hold your gun, capybara. I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.